Alright everyone, and welcome back to some more Vettel career on F1 2015, and today we've got round 14 of the season, the Japanese Grand Prix. And yeah, last time out we actually had a double bill. We've had two double bills in a row actually, but we've got just a single episode today. But yeah, last time we had the Italian Grand Prix and the Singapore Grand Prix. Both of those were won by Sebastian Vettel, and yeah, that made his third and fourth wins in a row. And it's got him a nice comfortable lead now in the championship. And yeah, Mercedes are going to have to try and come up with an answer here today, because they have now gone 6 races without a race win, which is pretty surprising considering how far ahead they were last season and how far ahead they seem to be at the beginning of this season. But yeah, we head now to Suzuka then, and here is what happened in qualifying. So it was ideal conditions for qualifying on Saturday, with blue skies and perfect track temperatures, and in Q1 there was no issues for the Mercedes or the Ferraris. There was actually a few surprises further down, as both Valtteri Bottas and Daniel Kvyat both got caught out. They thought they were comfortable on the prime tyres, but they ended up getting knocked out near the end in 16th and 17th places respectively. So a bit of a surprise there for the Williams and Red Bull driver. On to Q2, and Vettel actually set the fastest time in that session with a 36.5. And yeah, he was the top that session, and Kimi Raikkonen was in third. So yeah, it was looking pretty good for Ferrari here heading into Q3. It was looking like they may have a chance of pole position. And yeah, Vettel's first time in Q3, he once again set a 36.5, which got him provisional pole. But then as he exited the pits for his second run, he was quite slow at the pits, and the stewards felt that this was dangerous driving from him, and they actually excluded him from the rest of Q3. Stripped him of his pole lap, and that means he's going to have to start his race from 10th on the grid. Vettel was furious, and yep, he's now got a lot of work to do in the race, as we're now going to look at the full top 10. And it is Nico Rosberg then who inherits pole position. He would have been second, as you can see, at a 36.6, so Vettel's initial time would have been enough for pole position here, and it is going to be a normal Mercedes front row then with Lewis Hamilton alongside in second. Then it's Felipe Massa in third place, a very strong performance from him, and Kimi Raikkonen looking a bit off the pace in Q3, not really sure what happened to him, but only fourth for him there. Daniel Ricciardo putting a strong performance to get fifth ahead of Sergio Perez, who also performed well, as did Carlos Sainz actually, who was up in 7th for Toro Rosso. And then we've got Hülkenberg 8th, Grosjean 9th, and down in 10th place with no time, Sebastian Vettel. So, controversial qualifying, and yeah, it sets up for a very interesting race.
We're at the classic and much-loved Suzuka circuit for today's race. This fabulous track has been the scene of some of Formula One's greatest Grand Prix, and we're hoping today is going to be another one of them. If you want to send your rivals a message, then really there's no better way than to breeze qualifying, take pole position, and then claim you didn't have to push all that hard in doing so. Talk about being full of confidence.
He'll want to end this weekend on a high after yesterday's fantastic performance, but he's going to have a lot of competition. I doubt he'll be expecting an easy race, especially considering the teams around him.
Well, it's not been the best season so far for Mercedes. The Brackley-based team have struggled when they were expected to be one of the front runners. Where's it been going wrong for them?
I thought it was interesting what Toto Wolff was saying, in that the car has been good enough, but the driver performances so far haven't matched that. That needs to change, and fast.
More controversy there, as Toto Wolff seems to be blaming his drivers for the fact that they haven't been able to keep up with Ferrari so far. As we see a strategy there, it's looking like a 2-stop race. The Ferrari's been good on its tyres. Let's see what Vettel can do from 10th as the lights are coming on. And away they go at Suzuka. Vettel's had an awful start, and Verstappen's passed him already. Maldonado might be having a look at him as well here towards turn 1. In fact, it's Marcus Ericsson, I think, behind him. And there's a bit of wheel banging into turn 1, and in turn 2 Vettel sees the gap and he dives back up the inside of Verstappen. He's back up to 10th place, but yeah, he'll been hoping to make some places off the line here, and that is not what has happened. As we see, there's continued to be a bit more contact up in front. I think it's between Sainz and Hülkenberg, as Vettel gets himself up the inside of Grosjean in the S's. 3 goes into 9th, and now Sainz and Hülkenberg still wheel to wheel. and in fact Vettel's going to try and do a switchback on both of them in Dunlop. It looks like he's got past both of them then, up into 7th place. Nice move from in there to pick off those couple of places very quickly. And yeah, we skipped to nearer the end of the lap, and he's in the run, he's in the slipstream now of Sergio Perez as they head around 130. He had a fantastic run there. He had to actually brake to not run to the back of him. He's dived at the inside into the Casio triangle. He's taken both Perez and Ricciardo there, forced Ricciardo out wide. I think Perez has taken 6th place now. Ricciardo dropping 2 places, Vettel getting 2. That is absolutely crucial for him here, gaining 5 places on the first lap, as we are seeing a replay of the start right now. And yeah, it was a terrible launch off the line from him. Verstappen got through, Ericsson and Maldonado were right there as well, thinking about having a look. And yeah, we now see on board from Felipe Massa, who traditionally has very good starts, and looks like he's got another one here today then. Having a look at, in fact, Lewis Hamilton into turn 1, but Hamilton had the inside line and he just was able to just steadily force Massa out wide there. And yeah, Massa had to sell for 3rd. You see the on board then from Verstappen. Wasn't even that great a start from him, but just Vettel's was so terrible that Verstappen was through by the time they got to turn 1. And yeah, then Vettel sees that gap that Verstappen's left open there, and he just dived back at the inside. We then see a replay here then, Daniel Ricciardo minding his own business into the Casio triangle, and yeah, Vettel dived at the inside of Perez. I don't think he actually quite anticipated how quickly he was going into there, but he managed to make it work for himself. And now on the next lap he's passing Massa on the outside into the chicane, and through he goes. He's just about kept on the road once again, and he's through and into 4th place after only 2 laps. So yeah, he's right back in the mix as Massa on the grass there out of the final corner. As we see, quite aggressive, Massa left him just enough room to make the move, and he took it. On to lap 5 now then, where Vettel has finally caught up to Kimi Raikkonen here in the other Ferrari. Raikkonen's starting to drop back a little bit in the championship. It was looking like he may be able to close back in at one point when he took that one at Silverstone, but he started to drop back, so maybe Ferrari are thinking about the bigger picture here, the team game. It did look like Kimi Raikkonen gave up that place pretty easily there, and Vettel goes through and up into 3rd place. And yeah, Nico Rosberg not far ahead of him. The pole sitter not having a good race so far, it seems. And yeah, we skip down to lap 6, and we see that the team are actually now calling Vettel into the pits. So yeah, it was looking like a 2-stop race, pitting for the first time on lap 8, but looks like the tyre wear has been a bit too high here, even for Ferrari, and they're going to have to switch to a 3-stopper. They may well be matching Mercedes here then, and yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But Raikkonen's also coming in as well. Rosberg stays out, but Hamilton's in. And I think that in fact both Ferraris have now just held Hamilton in the pits for a lot longer than what he was meant to be. Vettel had, well, his normal stop, and look how much he's closer on Hamilton now. Was that a little bit of cheeky team play there from Ferraris to bring both cars in and hold up Hamilton? I mean, I'm sure the fanatics will probably say so, but we'll probably see a replay in a second then as Vettel exits in 5th place. Here is a replay then of Lewis Hamilton's pit stop, and let's have a look. It was a pretty routine stop, and then yeah, they just had to hold him for a couple of seconds as both Ferraris came in. That could be a bit controversial there, but I mean, nothing in the rules say they can't bring in 2 cars at the same time. So yeah, we skip on to the next lap then, where Verstappen's still not pitting, and Vettel's got DRS now. He's going to just breeze past him, as we're going to have Rosberg in the pits now then, and he has actually lost quite a lot of time there by staying out another lap. So yeah, maybe that was why Ferrari came in a bit earlier, but who knows. As yeah, Vettel is now close right onto the back of Lewis Hamilton. He started this race in 10th place, and he's already now going to be challenging for the lead here. He gets a fantastic run. I think he was caught out by how good a run he had there, because he actually clipped the back of Lewis Hamilton. But he's at the inside into 130 out, and he has taken the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. And yeah, see if he can maintain this now. Hamilton will actually have DRS here, because he was behind going into the detection point at the entrance to the chicane, but he's actually gone right onto the grass there, trying to find a way through. He is going to have DRS though, but I think going onto the grass have actually ruined his momentum there coming out of the final corner. As into turn 1 and 2 we go, and Roberto Mo is just going to park it in the middle of the road there, and he's just getting completely in the way of Vettel now into the S's, and he's going to run him out wide as he just about managed him to get through, and so did Hamilton there. They both lost a bit of time, and now Vettel actually out of shape here in the S's, and Hamilton looks like he's got a much better line, and he may even do a switchback on him here in Dunlop, kind of like Vettel did on the first lap, but not quite. But Hamilton now is suddenly, after losing the lead, is suddenly right on the back of Vettel now, putting the pressure on him to immediately retake the lead. And yeah, they're heading out under the bridge up towards the hairpin, and Hamilton is right there. Vettel goes defensive, does he? Actually moves across a little bit as well. There's a little bit of contact. Did he squeeze Hamilton out there? Well, it doesn't look like it's made any difference to Hamilton, because he's done the switchback and has retaken the lead of the Grand Prix. Vettel tucking right in behind him again and getting a great run now towards Spoon. He's on the outside. Can he make this one stick running outside into Spoon? Hamilton outbreaks him and has the inside line, so I don't think Vettel's going to make it through there. This is a great wheel-to-wheel battle between two multiple world champions, and Hamilton has come out on top this time, but Vettel's got a great run now towards 130R. He's going to be past him before they even get anywhere near the corner, and through he goes with that Ferrari straight line speed. And yeah, Rosberg is close right on him now then. It certainly looked like Vettel did move across a bit on Hamilton in the braking zone, but yeah, Vettel ran himself out wide, and Hamilton got the switch back and retook the place. And it was just too easy there on the run to 130R. Had the move done well before the corner, and yeah, Vettel comes in then on lap 12. So yeah, this is almost certainly looking like they've converted to a 3-stopper now then. And interesting, it looks like Vettel and Hamilton are matching each other lap for lap here in terms of strategy. And in fact, Ferrari have had a bit of a taste of their own medicine there, because they had to wait for Hamilton this time coming down the pit lane, and yeah, that's allowed Hamilton to retake the lead of the Grand Prix. So yep, if that was Ferrari's plan at the first stop, it's backfired on them this time, as they're going to rejoin once again in 4th and 5th places. And yep, Vettel's got it all to do then on the road, but he has looked certainly a lot quicker in a straight line so far. As we skip to the next lap then, and we've got Bottas just in front, who started down in 16th, but he's on a different strategy. He's on a 2-stopper here, so they'll be wanting to pass him pretty quickly as Ricciardo pits. Then I'm pretty sure he's on a 3-stop. Rosberg as well, he's going to be in the pits, and there he goes. Hamilton lining up Bottas up in front, and he's pushed Bottas out wide a little bit there. I'm not sure if there was any contact. Bottas trying to fight back though on those old tyres, but now Hamilton comes out on top this time. That's pretty crucial though, that he's managed to make that move stick while Vettel is stuck behind him through the S section, and Vettel's going to have to just try and get past him as quickly as he can here, because Bottas on much older tyres. And surely not, he's going to go around the outside into Dunlop. I think he may just have done this. They're going to go wheel to wheel. Bottas not backing out of it despite being on old tyres. He's going to try and outbrake him, but he's run out wide into the gravel. And in fact, he's actually rejoined into the path of Nico Rosberg. There has been a collision, and Rosberg has lost his front wing. And once again, it's all gone wrong for Nico Rosberg here, as Bottas went off and rejoined the track. We see a replay then. Bottas on those old tyres just wouldn't give up, and he certainly rejoined. It's very marginal as to whether that was too aggressive how he rejoined there. Looking from this point of view, you'd have to say it does look like Rosberg did have enough time to maybe have tried to avoid that, but he didn't do so, and he's lost his front wing, and another race has gone to waste for Nico Rosberg. And in fact, we've now got Vettel lining up Hamilton then for the race lead into 130R on lap 17, up the inside once again, and he's through and retaken that lead. He's gone a bit deep into the chicane now. Hamilton will have DRS here down the pit straight, as long as he gets a good line, which I think he has done this time, and he's going to be right on the back of the Ferrari now, down the pit straight. He's lining them up towards turn 1. Vettel does move across slightly to try and force him out a little bit. In fact, Hamilton's started at the inside. He's pushed Vettel that wide slightly. Round turn 2, Vettel's on the outside. Hamilton completely moves across there. That was so many contact. Vettel had to get out of it there. Vettel not happy at all with that one. He feels that Hamilton's run him off the road there. And yeah, it was a very aggressive move as they banged wheels into turn 1, and then Hamilton took it for his line for turn 2 as well. Vettel was still on the outside, and Vettel now all over the back of Lewis Hamilton trying to regain that lead. This has turned into a ferocious battle here between the two world champions, and they've got past Maldonado, who is not letting them through. In fact, he's let them through in the most awkward place, and they're both out of control on the brakes into the hairpin. It's so close between them here as they go through the hairpin now. They're on the run now towards Spoon. We saw them go side by side here before. Hamilton came out on top this time. Vettel, I think, is going to try the inside line this time because it didn't work on the outside. He started at the inside, and remembering what Hamilton did to him in turn 2, he forces him out, and through he goes back into the lead. We see a replay there of turn 1, and this was the aggressive one into turn 2. And yeah, very aggressive from Lewis Hamilton. He was pushing his luck there with the rules, and Vettel very aggressive in return on his move into Spoon. And yeah, once again they put on the same lap. What a battle this has been. And yeah, onto the prime tyres now for both of them. And once again, Ferrari have had to wait for the Mercedes coming down the pit lane. So yeah, that's costing the race lead once again in this race. And it looks like once again they're going to have a ferocious battle here to sort out who is going to win this race. As they both rejoin the race now, then still in first and second positions here. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle now for the final stint. And it doesn't take long for them to get battling again, as Vettel's got a great run now through 130 yard. They're going to go wheel to wheel towards the Casio triangle. Vettel on the outside, he locks up his front right, but he's just about made it to the corner, and through he goes into the lead. Hamilton once again will probably try and get a good run down the pit straight, but he's gone wide again. I think he's still got a good drive though, and he is going to have DRS here. Vettel goes defensive in the middle of the track. Hamilton's going to stay to the inside. There's a back mark coming out of the pits, and I think that's actually put Lewis Hamilton off there, making that move, and he backs out of it. Marcus Ericsson now getting completely in the way of Vettel, and he's going to be as awkward as Mary was in this section, I think. Yes, he is, and in fact he has actually held up Hamilton a little bit, so Vettel's got away with it. And we see a replay then, and that was great wheel-to-wheel racing, and yeah, completely clean as well, and what a move it was. And Vettel has taken the lead of the Grand Prix, and yeah, believe it or not, there was actually no more battling after that. Vettel managed to build out a gap and finally get himself some breathing space in this race. 3.7 seconds there you see as the gap, and yeah, what a battle it was. But coming around the final corner to take his 5th win in a row is Sebastian Vettel, and he comes through to win the Japanese Grand Prix. What a race that was, what a battle. And yeah, he's extended his lead once again in the Drivers' Championship. This is starting to look like 2013 form from him, as he's on the podium there. Lewis Hamilton congratulates him. Nice to see a bit of sportsmanship there after what was a very aggressive battle. And how about Valtteri Bottas up there as well from 16th on the grid. So a great day's racing all around then, as the champagne is sprayed on the podium, and Ferrari are going to be celebrating their 7th win in a row. What a run of form this has turned into for the Scuderia. And yeah, we're now going to look at the final results then. And yeah, Vettel takes winning by 3.8 seconds in the end over Lewis Hamilton. There we see Valtteri Bottas with that fantastic 3rd from 16th on the grid, making the 2-stop strategy work. Massa finished 4th, and once again was ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, who had overall a disappointing weekend, you'd have to say. Ricciardo could only manage 6th, with Kvyat also making a 2-stop work to get himself up to 7th. Rosberg could only manage 8th after losing his front wing in the collision with Bottas. Hülkenberg and Verstappen rounded out the points finishes, with Verstappen demoting his teammate to finish in 10th place. Romain Grosjean got a 5-second penalty, and that actually dropped him behind Carlos Sainz in the race. I think that was for a pass under yellow flags, I'm not sure, but I think that is what that was about. Looking further down, we see Felipe Nasr finished 13th. Jenson Button also had a couple of penalties as well, and that didn't actually affect his position. He stayed in 14th. Sergio Perez, a bad race for him, down in 15th place from 6th on the grid. Was not the race he had been hoping for at all. Will Stevens with a very good drive there to finish 17th out of the 20 finishers, finishing ahead of Fernando Alonso and Pastor Maldonado, with Roberto Merri making it 20 finishers from 20 starters. And there are the driver standings then. Sebastian Vettel now 52 points clear of Lewis Hamilton with 5 races to go. So at this point you can finish 3rd to Hamilton in every race and he'll still be champion. So yeah, Kimi Raikkonen now 72 back, and it's certainly looking now that he's going to have to play the team game for the rest of the season, with Nico Rosberg 121 points off the lead now, so even he will probably have to, whether he likes it or not. Looking further down, we see the 2 Williams still very close on points, and Verstappen overtakes Perez in the battle for 9th as well. Nico Hülkenberg has moved himself up as well past somebody. Past Maldonado, that is. And yeah, looking further down, not really many other changes, as we see. Yeah, further down they're all still pretty much as they were. And in the constructors then, Ferrari now 101 points clear of Mercedes with 5 races to go. So yeah, Mercedes are going to have to start taking a lot of points off them every race now if they're going to be winning, well, defending their constructors title. Looking further down, no other changes today. But that is it for this race. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a thrilling race, thrilling battle. So yeah, if you did enjoy it, then please leave a like. It's always appreciated. As for any thoughts or any feedback down in the comments, you can also check the description below for links to my Twitter and Twitch. Other than that, I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.